Place your hand at the base of your spine and press carefully. That small, uncomfortable structure is your coccyx, the tailbone. It is the remains of an argument your ancestors settled roughly 25 million years ago. Most primates kept their tails. Monkeys use them for balance, signaling, movement, and in some species, gripping branches with a precision that makes human hands look unnecessarily specialized. Apes lost theirs. Humans inherited the result. For more than a century, scientists could describe the missing structure but not identify the genetic change behind it. Then a researcher noticed something hidden inside a gene involved in tail development. Not a missing gene, not a broken gene, an extra piece of mobile DNA. That discovery turned the human tail from a cartoon question into a genetic crime scene. The gene is called TBXT. It helps guide development of the posterior body. Humans and other apes carry a DNA insertion inside this gene that tailed monkeys do not. The insertion belongs to a family of mobile sequences called ALU elements, pieces of DNA capable of copying and inserting themselves into new genomic locations. Usually, such insertions are evolutionary clutter. This one appears to have changed how the gene's RNA was spliced. Think of a film editor receiving the same footage but cutting out a different scene. The script remains. The final product changes. Researchers engineered mice to recreate aspects of the ape-specific change. Some developed shortened tails, some lost them almost entirely. The experiment did not prove that one insertion single-handedly erased the ancestral ape tail, but it showed a plausible mechanism with a visible effect. And then the experiment produced a darker clue. Some mice developed defects related to closure of the neural tube, the embryonic structure that becomes the brain and spinal cord. In humans, failures in this process can cause conditions such as spina bifida. The possible mutation that helped remove the tail may also have carried a cost. Evolution does not design clean upgrades. It negotiates. A change survives when its total consequences work well enough, not when every consequence is beneficial. But why would losing a tail ever be useful? The tempting answer is walking on two legs. A tail can help a running animal balance, and many monkeys rely on it while moving through trees. Humans became habitual bipeds, so perhaps the tail simply became unnecessary. The timing complicates that story. Tail loss happened in the common ancestor of apes, long before humans evolved their distinctive form of upright walking. Gibbons, orangutans, gorillas, chimpanzees, and humans all lack external tails, yet they move in very different ways. So bipedalism may have taken advantage of an already tailless body rather than causing the tail to disappear. That changes the mystery. Instead of asking, why did humans lose the tail? We should ask, what kind of primate could afford to stop needing one? Early apes may have shifted toward larger bodies, more upright postures, careful climbing, arm suspension, and new ways of moving across branches. A long external tail might have offered less advantage in that locomotor system. Once its benefits shrank, mutations reducing it could persist, but a structure rarely disappears without transferring its work. A monkey's tail can act as a counterbalance. Apes rely more heavily on the trunk, pelvis, arms, and subtle shifts of body mass. Humans later pushed this arrangement much further. Our balance system is distributed through the inner ear, spine, hips, knees, ankles, feet, vision, and constant unconscious muscle corrections. Every time you stand still, your body is actually making tiny adjustments to prevent a slow-motion collapse. You do not miss the tail because the rest of the body never stops compensating for its absence. The coccyx is not useless either. Muscles and ligaments attach to it. It helps anchor structures involved in pelvic floor support and movement. Sitting transfers pressure around the region, which is why landing directly on it creates a kind of pain that feels both anatomical and personally insulting. A lost organ can remain useful in reduced form. That is the first twist. The second is that human embryos briefly reveal the old plan. During development, the embryo forms a tail-like extension containing several vertebrae. Most of it regresses as the body develops, leaving the coccyx. Very rarely, infants are born with tail-like appendages. Some are mostly skin and soft tissue, others are associated with deeper developmental abnormalities. These cases are not humans evolving backward. They are reminders that development still passes through stages shaped by our ancestry. The body does not build a human from nothing. It edits an ancient vertebrate blueprint. That makes the tailbone a fossil produced inside every person. But the most important part of this story is not the missing tail itself. It is what the discovery says about evolution. Popular explanations often imagine traits disappearing because they became useless. Nature notices the tail is no longer required, removes it, and sends the body an updated version. Real evolution is messier. A mobile DNA element inserts itself. Gene processing changes, development shifts. Some effects may help, others may be neutral, some may create risks that remain millions of years later. Selection does not plan the final body, it filters bodies that already happened. This also explains why the human body contains so many awkward compromises. A spine modified from a four-legged ancestor carries an upright torso and frequently objects. A pelvis supports bipedal movement while making childbirth difficult. Teeth designed for an older diet crowd into smaller jaws. A reduced tail remains as a structure you notice mainly after slipping on ice. The body is not a machine assembled by an engineer. It is a renovation performed while the building remained occupied. So what happened after our ape ancestors lost their tails? They did not suddenly become human. They entered a different locomotor world. Balance shifted toward the trunk and limbs. Development changed. Later apes diversified into climbers, suspenders, knuckle walkers, and eventually habitual bipeds. Millions of years afterward, one descendant species learned to stand, run, dance, carry tools, sit in chairs for 10 hours, and then blame the chair for a skeleton that began as a fish. The missing tail did not cause humanity, but it changed the body on which humanity would later be built, and the price of that change may still be written into the risks of embryonic development today. That is the uncomfortable lesson inside the coccyx. Evolution does not erase the past. It folds the past inward, attaches muscles to it, and leaves you sitting on the evidence.